On a June afternoon in North Olmsted, Ohio, a thrift store, a grocery run, and a shopping cart in a parking lot lined up in a way that should have meant nothing at all. Just another errand, another receipt, another day checked off in a family calendar. Inside, a woman walked out of a Volunteers of America with two stolen kitchen knives, crossed a strip of asphalt to a Giant Eagle supermarket, and changed the lives of a family. This is a story of 32-year-old Bionca Ellis, of a mother named Margot, and a 3-year-old boy named Julian, as well as a random act of violence that left a community asking how many warnings are enough. Bionca is black, and I chose to cover a black person today, January 19th, 2026, because it is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let me say to you, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I love my black buddies, and I love Dr. King's civil rights movement. He was a great minister, a great preacher. He mixed politics with Jesus Christ, which is what I loved, as well as equality. Let's also give a shout out to Malcolm X, who participated in the movement, to Jimmy Lee, and as well to one of my favorites back in the day singers, Joan Baez. I really recommend, after listening to this, that you look up the movie Selma and watch it. It is free on Pluto TV, according to the internet. But don't quote me on that. Just go ahead and check to see where you could watch it. It's a great movie. Of course, scenes are acted out, and the story is changed a little bit than the original if you look at the true news reports, but it is still worth watching. Dr. King inside this movie is played by a British actor. Anyways, let's get back to the story. It is June 3rd, 2023 in North Olmsted, a suburb of Cleveland where crime usually stays in the background hum of life. All you see is young kiddos by themselves riding their bikes as if it was a super safe area, or people headed to summer camp, getting dropped off at sports practice, etc. But in a small commercial strip, Volunteers of America sits next to a Giant Eagle supermarket where families go to get their errands and return home minutes away, sharing a parking lot with a weekday rhythm of shoppers. Inside the thrift store, 32-year-old Bionca Ellis moves among the aisles, somewhere among the shelves and the secondhand goods section. She picks up two kitchen knives and leaves without paying. She leaves the Volunteers of America with both stolen knives and walks next door to the Giant Eagle. At the same time, 37-year-old Margot Wood is doing what millions of parents do without a second thought, running errands, getting necessities. She is with her 3-year-old son Julian. Groceries, a cart, a checklist in her head. The little boy is with her, small and alive in the ordinary way children are still alive when they sit in a shopping cart and ask questions and talk to their mommy. As the mother and son finished their shopping, they headed out into the parking lot after paying. That in-between space where store light becomes sky. Margaret starts loading groceries into her car while Julian is still seated in the shopping cart. Bionca, who had been following them around the supermarket for a while, follows them outside. In the open air, under the watching eyes of other shoppers, the knives that let Volunteers of America become weapons. In front of everyone, Bionca stabbed Julian first while he was sitting in the shopping cart. Margot then came to try to defend him, and Bionca stabbed her as well. The scene fractures. Bystanders see what is happening. A stranger with a knife, a black lady with a knife, who's twice the size of this kiddo sitting in the shopping cart, attacking him and his mother who is screaming. The bystanders call 911 from the parking lot. The police are nearby and arrive quickly. Sirens respond with urgency to their voices. This is somewhat a wealthy area, therefore, there are police officers hovering around to keep things safe. The police arrived very quickly and took Bionca into custody. What just happened is as public as it is sudden. There is no mystery about who held the knife. In the chaos that follows, 3 different medical centers become small islands in the story. Bionca is taken to the North Olmsted Medical Center with minor injuries. After a brief check, she is discharged and then transported to the North Olmsted City Police Station. Margot is rushed to Metro Health Medical Center in Cleveland. She has been stabbed once in the shoulder, undergoes surgery, and receives care. In the days that followed, she survives and is eventually released. Julian, meanwhile, is taken to the St. John Medical Center in Westlake, Ohio. He had been stabbed 7 times. At the hospital, sadly, he did not make it. He is pronounced dead. He was 3 years old. Back at the police station, investigators try to understand why this happened. When questioned, Bionca does not provide a clear motive. She does not connect herself to the family in some past, hidden way. She does not know the family personally. Law enforcement will later describe the stabbing as a random act of violence, with no known personal tie between Bionca Ellis or the Woods. Officers say she would not speak about anything, that when it came to explaining the attack, she shut down and asked for a lawyer instead. By the end of June 3rd, the day began with a thrift store visit and a grocery run, then went on to end with Julian being gone, Margot recovering from surgery, and Bionca booked into the Cuyahoga County Jail. In the weeks and months that followed, the story broadens out. Investigators pull on threads from Bionca's recent past, looking for signs that might explain the parking lot attack, or that something might have stopped it. They find encounters that hint at instability. She had spent more than a month jailed in Florida after refusing to leave a hotel when asked. In North Olmsted, she stole from a Walmart and was placed on probation, then went on to violate that probation by not completing a required program. She had come to the North Olmsted City Police Station before this attack, asking about a recent arrest and her property. There is also an incident at a shelter that stands out like a red flag that no one managed to pull down in time. Staff there said that Bionca told them she wanted to confess to murder and demanded they call the cops. She warned that if she was not taken to jail, she would murder someone. Officers brought her to the Metro Health Hospital on that day for a mental health evaluation. There, she became agitated and struggled with the staff, ultimately needing to be sedated. Then, as happens so often in stories that end badly, after her arrest for Julian's death, it did not take long for the criminal system to begin its formal work. Bionca appeared before Judge Nancy Margaret Russo of the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas. She appeared virtually via WebEx. Bionca refused to answer the judge's questions. This judge set a bond of $5 million cash only to ensure that she would remain behind bars to await trial. Meanwhile, Julian's parents, Margot and Jared, begin their own legal process. As of right now, they are suing Giant Eagle, Volunteers of America, and their administrations, raising questions about security, responsibility, and whether more could have been done. That civil case is pending, and a trial is currently scheduled for October 19th, 2026, at the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas in Cleveland. Meanwhile, grief has its own calendar. On June 7th, 2024, visitation for Julian was held at the Repepi Funeral Home in Parma, Ohio. In this same suburb, there was mass the next day at the St. Charles Borromeo Church. He was buried afterwards at the Sunset Memorial Park in North Olmsted, not far from where the attack took place. Behind the scenes, investigators start building the formal architecture for the case. Bionca is tied to a criminal probe within the state of Ohio. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley presents the probe to a grand jury at the Court of Common Pleas. This grand jury reviews evidence, indicting Bionca Ellis on a list of serious offenses. O'Malley afterwards unseals the indictment and publicly announces the charges, assigning two of his assistants to prosecute from this point on, Anna Faraglia and Julian Petillo. On paper, the charges look like a whole description of what happened that day. They are 3 counts of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 assault offenses, endangerment, evidence tampering, and misdemeanor theft. All felonies except for that one misdemeanor. Public defenders Carlos Johnson and Fernando Mack submit not guilty pleas to the court on her behalf. As the criminal trial date nears, the question is no longer just what happened, but how the law should see the person who did it. In November 2025, the defense filed insanity pleas on Bionca's behalf. They are not claiming she is innocent and did nothing. They are claiming she was not mentally stable when committing the offenses. Judge John Russo, who has no relation to Nancy, the one set in bond, deals with her moving forward. This is called the Russo Battery. 2 judges shining light upon justice. This judge allowed the insanity defense to be pursued. On October 1st, 2025, after several delays, the case finally went to trial. A panel of 12 jurors and 4 alternates listened to gruesome evidence being discussed to them. Judge John Russo refuses to declare Bionca insane without the jury deciding, and he also denies the request to start the trial all over again, insisting that the process should move forward with the jury. At some point, one piece of the indictment falls away. Judge Russo drops the evidence tampering charge, citing a lack of evidence. The rest of the counts remain. Over 2 weeks, those jurors listened to crucial testimony about the parking lot attack, to medical evidence, mental health records, and the chain of events that lead from a thrift store to a grave. On the 15th, the jury returned its verdict. Bionca was found guilty on the 9 remaining charges. Then on the 27th, Judge John Russo sentences Bionca to prison time. Concurrent terms, meaning that she will serve them all at the same time. For the 3 murder counts, she receives 3 different life sentences, 1 of them without parole, 2 of them with parole after completing 15 years. For one of the attempted murders, 11 years. For the other one, 11 to 16 and a half years. For the remaining ones, the 2 assault convictions and the endangerment, 8 years each. And lastly, for the theft misdemeanor, 6 months in jail, time served. Stacked together, the numbers blur. What stands out is the core, life in prison without parole. Bionca has appealed the conviction and sentence, but that is currently pending. For now, she is incarcerated at the Ohio Reformatory in Marysville, where she will most likely take her last breath. The police have called this attack a random act of violence, as Bionca did not even know the mother and son she was attacking. Bionca should not be in a state prison, she should be in an asylum. But the problem with that is that the insanity laws are too difficult nowadays, ever since President Ronald Reagan made the beautiful decision to shut a lot of those facilities down, leaving so many homeless and out to commit crimes. Even Charlie Kirk agreed with reestablishing those institutions. There are very few mental health services in America compared to the number of people needing mental health services. And as well, they are so overpriced. Until next time, take care. May Julian rest in peace and have a good rest of your day. Best of luck to the parents and to Bionca herself.